Welcome to The Explainer. We've got a really surprising story for you today. It's about how some of the oldest institutions on the entire planet are becoming the fastest adopters of the very newest technology. Yeah, we're talking about faith and artificial intelligence, and how that combination is already changing ministry as we know it. Okay, let's just jump right in with a number that's probably going to make you do a double take. While less than half of the general workforce is using AI, almost 2/3 of church leaders are already using these tools. They're not just playing catch-up, they're actually way out ahead of the curve. And we're not talking about some slow, gradual trend here. This is an absolute explosion, an 80% jump in just a single year. So that begs a massive question, right? Why is this happening so fast, and what could it possibly mean for the future of faith?
So why the huge surge? Well, to understand it, we're not going to start in the sanctuary. We're going to start in the pastor's office, because the number one reason for this crazy fast adoption comes down to one simple thing: efficiency.
And you can see that hunt for efficiency playing out right here. Look at this. Over 62% of pastors are using AI for sermon prep, things like brainstorming ideas and doing research. More than half are using it to manage their social media, and almost 40% for just plain old admin tasks. It's basically become this incredibly powerful digital assistant, saving them hours and hours of desk work so they can focus on, being pastors.
And here's where that efficiency really kicks into high gear. A Sunday sermon isn't just a one-and-done event anymore. With these new pulpit AI tools, a pastor's message gets instantly transcribed, analyzed, and then bam, it's turned into a whole week's worth of content. We're talking social media clips, discussion guides for small groups, even daily devotionals, all of it automatically generated in the pastor's unique voice.
But this is where the tension really starts to build. Church leaders are very quick to draw a line in the sand. They're saying, look, AI is an amazing tool for research and admin work, but it has limits. And this gets to the central conflict we're going to see over and over, that constant push and pull between what technology can do and what's considered spiritually authentic.
So that tension? It gets even more intense when we leave the pastor's office and step into the church's newest mission field, the fully digital world of the metaverse. VR churches, pioneered by people like DJ Soto, aren't just a quirky experiment anymore. They are real, thriving communities, and they're breaking down these huge barriers, like geography and physical disabilities. I mean, think about this. A family literally living in 4 different cities can now get together every single week to worship as avatars in the same virtual room.
But you guessed it, this new frontier is sparking some major theological debates. Like, can a worship song that was written by an algorithm with no human soul or story behind it actually lead someone to real worship? Or can a baptism performed on a digital avatar in a virtual world ever be considered a real sacrament? It forces that same tough question: where do you draw the line between accessibility and authenticity? Okay, so with this technology taking off like a rocket, we hit the next big, crucial issue: governance. How in the world do you safely manage all this new power? And here's the thing: while AI use in churches is absolutely skyrocketing, the rules on how to use it responsibly are lagging way behind. And this isn't just a small gap. It's a huge, gaping hole. It's a massive vulnerability. Get a load of this number. Over 80%, the vast majority of churches have zero official guidelines or policies for using AI. None. They're basically navigating this incredibly complex new world completely on their own, without a map. Now, some major institutions are trying to step in and fill that void. The Vatican, for instance, has put out one of the most detailed frameworks so far. They're demanding total transparency, insisting that any AI-generated content be clearly labeled IA for Intelligenza Artificiale, and making it clear that protecting human dignity has to be the absolute top priority. And what's really interesting is seeing how different groups are focusing on different parts of the problem. You've got the Southern Baptist Convention, for example, who are really concerned with the personal, spiritual risks, like people forming unhealthy attachments to AI chatbots. Then you have the United Methodist Church, and they're zeroing in on the more practical, legal stuff, like data security and making sure sensitive member info doesn't get fed into these platforms. So all of this, the push for efficiency, the virtual churches, the frantic race to create policies, it all boils down to one central debate. At the end of the day, what can a machine actually do, and what is uniquely, irreplaceably human? And this chart just lays out the trade-offs perfectly.
On one hand, an AI chatbot has incredible advantages. It's available 24/7, its response is instant, but its empathy is just a simulation. It offers zero real accountability. A human pastor, on the other hand, gives you what a machine just can't: a real, authentic, emotional connection, the challenge of being part of a community, and the simple, powerful act of just being there, in person, with someone through their joy or their pain.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question. As we build this digital church of the future, what are we really optimizing for? Is the goal just to be more efficient? Or is it about fostering genuine human connection? Because the biggest risk here isn't that the technology might fail. The biggest risk is that, in our mad dash to adopt it, we might accidentally lose the very heart of what we were trying to share in the first place.